Yo, what's up, y'all? We got Dreamz in the building. Last time we got, Gotham Knight preview, bro. This is another one of those most definite cops from my part, bro. I've been waiting on this since, last year? Honestly, I haven't heard much about it, but I guess we're about to hear more. Let's get into it.
Nah, I'm just here to kick
What
your
is
ass.
that?
As part of our visit
Who
to
are you,
Dreamz
even?
Games Montreal, we got to see a lot.
Oh, I think that's Mudman or whatever his name is.
Gotham Knights.
Yo, they got him in here too? Okay, this is gonna be crazy.
Played, but we weren't able to go hands-on
They got classic villains in here, so
the
like...
game ourselves, and that makes a traditional preview a little difficult. Without having had a controller in our hands, it's hard to say how combat, working through missions,
That
or
that looks very smooth,
gear
bro.
choices feels. And with that in mind, this preview will be a little more structural. With the help of the game's developers, we'll walk you through how Gotham Knights is put together.
Okay, we got some investigation.
Brand new information about the open world,
Ooh,
how
that's so
supervillains
sexy,
fold
bro.
into the fabric of the wider game, the game's neat approach to a day-night cycle, and more.
Oh my god, there's a day cycle. Yo, there's never a day cycle in Batman. It's always, yo, for some reason the nights last for like 30 days, bro. Like, what's happening there?
As we've spoken about previously this month, Gotham Knights world
What
is
the
aimed to
hell
feel
is
appropriate
that? That's
and
like a
centuries
giant
of
fucking
history behind it.
boomerang.
Part and parcel with that is how truly open it is.
That can fly.
Developers ensured that almost the entirety of their Gotham is open from the very beginning, with each of its 5 boroughs offering different traversal opportunities, different threats, different activities, and
You could never do that in the other Batman games. Because, I played Batman Arkham City. I played that one, and it was smooth. It was a really good Batman game. In fact, I finished the entirety of it, right?
different characters.
It was never this smooth.
But the team also wanted to create the sense of a city reacting to the presence of new vigilantes hitting the streets.
I would say we start off the game in a pretty cold version of Gotham. The police don't like you. The citizens don't like you.
No one likes you.
Over time, the tone evolves because you identify...
You solving crimes, bro.
in the city. You can find out to a certain extent what's going on beneath the surface in Gotham. And
Harley
you
Quinn, sexy
gradually build the confidence of the citizens.
Of course, some will always be on your side, and a group of citizens.
Wait, what just happened? Is that teleportation?
Of course, some will
Yo.
always be.
Is this 2050? Yo,
So,
what is
and a group of
happening? I mean, this is DC, so anything is
citizens called the
possible.
Watch act as an informant
What
network
the
for the
hell?
Knights, offering up missions that will help stitch their parts of the city
That is
back
so
together,
smooth,
all
bro.
of which will see you head out
Oh, he's doing a
into the
wheelie?
darkness to help bring some light back to Gotham. As
Oh
it
my
turns
God.
out, Dark Knights in training like to come out during, well, dark nights. Key to Gotham Knights is that it's not a game with a shifting, continuous day-night cycle. Rather, the
So
entire
clean,
game
bro.
is set over consecutive nights, with new crimes emerging every evening and villain storylines progressing alongside you.
Okay, so I'm guessing this game is gonna be one of those games that lasts for like a while, you know, like it's gonna last for a couple of years, you know. They're gonna add things to it. I'm guessing it's gonna be like those updates type of game, like MMORPG.
Your work to stop them.
It's looking
the only
like-
time you'll see daylight in the main game is inside the Knight's headquarters, the Belfry, where you'll plan for what to do after the next sunset.
That's cool.
The central loop of the game experience in Gotham Knights is what we call our Belfry loop. When you exit the Belfry, it's always nighttime. You don't have to worry about when the sun's going to come up. But in the course of that night,
wish you did.
you are
That'd be
gonna-
cool.
There are going to be some crimes and other activities that are happening in the streets of Gotham
What is he
that
doing?
are premeditated. They were predetermined by whoever was
Bro turned on his
gonna
hockey.
commit them, the day before.
What the hell?
You complete a night of crime fighting, and it's up to the player to decide when they're done. But
Bro got Conqueror's hockey. What was
it
that?
could be a case of them saying, well, I think I've hit most of the major crimes I needed to, or it could be the case of them saying, I learned what I needed to learn and now I need to go back to the Belfry to advance the story, for example. Then you return to Belfry and now it's daytime.
Crimes in Gotham Knights come in many forms. They
Right.
can range from procedurally generated
Alright, this is important right now, bro.
games right up to entire gangs running complex operations.
Wow.
And the more you foil, the more you'll learn about crimes to come.
We wanted this
Oh my god, so the more you play, the more things get, I mean, common video game shit.
concept of information scarcity. So you need to find stuff out about the city. night after
Oh, so you gotta go out and find
You already
stuff.
have a kind of activity.
Okay, in the other, in the Batman Arkham Knight, it was kind of the same thing, but this is different.
Cube that you can be tracking and deciding, okay, I think that's going to be more important for me to take on. Maybe this is more interesting to me because it maps better to one of the challenges that I'm trying to complete. Or maybe this has direct impact
You
on
can like actually
me
change the
finding
characters.
that next chapter in the larger mystery, right? So there's a lot of different reasons why a player might choose to go after one particular crime or another.
Unlike the game's checkpointed story
Bro,
missions,
what type of aura is this anime? What
crime
the
has no
hell?
opportunity to replay that exact
Yo, look at the fucking
Again, it's
goons,
part
bro.
of the superhero learning process. Once you end a night, crimes
God.
are reset.
Yo,
That night is
look, yo,
over.
this is anime.
Crimes that you didn't solve.
Bro got his aura hanging out, bro.
And now you're in a situation where you can look at what's coming up for the next night. So maybe you've collected enough clues. that you
Yo, is this JoJo Bizarre Adventure? Bro's aura is leaking out of him,
you're
bro.
gonna
What is
know
that?
in advance? Oh, there's going to be a heist at the bank, or there's going to be an armored car robbery, or someone's going to try to break somebody out of prison. You know, in addition to that, there's a bunch of things you don't know about.
Out of
right?
prison.
There's all of the other crimes that haven't been revealed, and you can find out about them through patrolling.
It's a system designed to keep offering new ideas without feeling inauthentic to how a real city might work. But of course, in a comic book city, not all crimes are created equal. Sometimes in your nightly patrols, you'll stumble across information that points to a much bigger, more
Okay, what is up with this game and fucking electricity, bro?
recognizable threat.
The hell?
We
It's
can
just
show
seeping from every corner.
precisely nothing of the game's main story campaign after its tutorial. The team clearly wants to keep its take on the beloved Court of Owls storyline as
so
clandestine
clean,
as the
bro.
group itself.
Court of
But the game's
Owls,
villain
bro.
storylines aren't necessarily a part of that darker conspiracy. Like any good comic book world, multiple supervillains are running riot across Gotham simultaneously, each with their own agendas.
Alright,
In Gotham
Mudman, I forgot his name.
Knights, that means that supervillain arcs are optional side stories taking place over multiple nights. And
Okay,
made
so they're
part of the open world
oh my,
itself.
yo, what is that?
Not just story dungeons. As
The more I watch, the more like I have a lot of things I want to say, bro. It's like
to
wow.
learn more about the villains taking on specific missions along the way, your Belfry evidence board will begin to grow.
So you can I'm sorry, this is so much. You're telling me that I can choose to fight Iceman or not, right? That's crazy.
Clues to evidence and events.
I mean, if I really don't want to, I really don't gotta go to this nigga's hideout.
Letting you trigger what the team calls a villain night.
You know, when we talk about villain nights, we sometimes
Villain
refer to them
nights.
as epic villain crime, and it's because we always wanted the villains to be menacing Gotham City. We didn't want it to be a case of, oh, I'm going to go into this sort of bubble dungeon universe and Gotham somewhere else, and I'm just engaging with them here. And sometimes that means we do some fundamentally, big changes, right? We like encase Elliott Center.
That
and,
is so
in the
clean,
case
bro.
of, one of the later
What is
missions
this game in electricity, bro? It's
in the Harley Quinn arc,
they do it
Gotham
right, bro.
Hospital is going to be invaded and is going to be thrown into chaos.
While it's very
I'm just
possible
lost
that these
for words.
optional
It's
arcs
just-
could
it's so
illuminate the main
much.
storyline somehow, the impression we got is that these standalone villains are there to enrich the sense of Gotham as a true comic
are
book
you?
city with multiple threats to stave off at one time. And that applies to the town's gangs as
She's like the wannabe Harley
well.
Quinn.
As we've talked about before, Gotham Knights factions aren't just goons for a supervillain, although they certainly can be. Instead, they populate the city themselves, causing
Wow.
various flavors of mayhem depending on their affiliation. So far, we've seen the
God,
freaks and the regulators, and some of our footage has made mention of Red Hood's hatred for the mob.
Bro, look at that aura, bro. Fucking Jotaro looking ass.
This feeling of criminal elements spreading
Yo,
across the city.
what's up with them? And I keep saying it, but every time I see them fight, it's always some type of electricity, bro.
Is intended to get across
Some
the
type of lightning
endlessness
attack.
of the superhero's job. You're not able to wipe out a faction from the map. You're simply stymieing their work.
You can clean Gotham of crime for a night, but you can never stop it. Even Batman wasn't capable of that, and neither are you.
Practically, that means there will always be crimes to fight and combat to be had, but factions also provide another service. Each one is tied to specific gear, crafting materials, and other unlocks, which you'll use to beef up your heroes. We've covered Gotham Knights many
That is so clean.
superhero suits previously, but that was very much from the cosmetic angle. From a more gameplay-driven angle, players will be able to craft gear that alters their hero's armor, melee, and ranged items, offering
Oh my, they're really going with the MMORPG, huh? Like they're really
that
going
boosts
deep in
and
that.
elemental damage changes. Crafting that gear comes down to two things: having the blueprint and the materials to make it.
Oh, you need
All of the
blueprints
gear
for them. Oh my
is
god.
created through craft.
So you got to go out and find the blueprints then.
There are flavors of gear, and it applies in slightly different ways to suits and melee weapons and ranged weapons, but what they kind of have in common is this focus on these elemental damage types: cryogenic, freezing damage, thermal damage, electrical damage, poison, stun, these kinds of things.
I mean, for so far, all I'm seeing is fucking electrical
Interaction
damage,
should
nothing
become
else.
doubly interesting by introducing another player into the world. From day one, the Gotham Knights team has made clear that its take on two-player co-op is completely untethered, meaning one player can theoretically explore another's world without ever having
That
to
is
meet
so
them.
beautiful.
Anytime
bro.
you're playing in Gotham City as opposed to inside
Okay, so you're telling me my brother can hop on this with me?
a story dungeon as part of
Wow,
one
okay.
of the beats of the main mystery of the storyline, you're untethered. It also provides the most organic kind of superhero meetup
I mean, it's obviously the best Batman game ever. Obviously.
opportunity where you think your buddy is
So
with
many
you
lightning strikes, bro.
for a while because
Oh my
you got
God,
distracted
these
by
people are
something
not
you found
waking up
collectible.
tomorrow.
And then a second later, you look up on a rooftop and a batarang
My
comes out
God.
of nowhere, and here's Batgirl, and she's here to help you stop a crime.
Of course, this could throw up issues of how progression works for players and how players at different parts of the story can interact. The solution is elegantly unfussy. Characters of different levels will scale so that they somewhat match. Enemies will also scale to the player's levels, and most
Ooh, yo, okay.
levels will scale so that they
That
somewhat
was sexy.
match. Enemies will also
That's sexy. That's okay.
player's
I'm
levels
lost. I
and
can't. There's nothing else I can say but sexy.
importantly, progression matters to the host and the guest.
When
I'm sorry for pause, my bro. My boy can really hop on this with me. Yo, we're gonna have so much
the
fun.
host is their story, but 100% of your hero progression is your own. And then once you return to your own Gotham,
Mudman.
time essentially restarts in your own story. If you completed a major story beat, a villain arc, dungeon against the Court of Owls while playing with a friend, when you get to that part in your own story, the game will ask you, do
Clean.
you want to play it again?
Beautiful.
Or do you want to just kind of say, you did this part in some other universe and we'll just fast forward you through it?
But despite watching hours
Okay.
of the game being played live, there was a lot we weren't allowed to see. The game's main story missions are still a mystery to us, even down to how they're unlocked or displayed on the map. More intriguingly, the team repeatedly made reference to an endgame for Gotham Knights, but steadfastly refused to talk about it. Given the game's
bro.
action RPG structure, it wouldn't be hugely surprising to
Yeah,
find
it's a big MMO, not MMO. It's a big RPG game, bro. They're really going the RPG route, and I cannot wait for it, bro. This is another one of my most definite cops. If you guys like the video, like, subscribe, to get shit, and I'll see y'all next one. Peace.